Welcome to Lifted, elevating the game. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome to episode 23 of the Lifted podcast. Today, we're going to talk about what's on everybody's mind, and that's the King of the Court tournament out in Toronto next week. Can't wait. It's going to be a blast. I mean, all the teams are coming, and we're going to get into all that. Before I do, May 23rd, May 25th. Keep that in the back of your mind. Vancouver next year. This is the perfect tournament in between what New York was and what Vancouver is going to be. And it's going to be a lot of fun to play all these teams that are possibly coming to Vancouver. We're going to get to meet them next week. So we're excited about that. With that being said, I'm going to go over what's going to be on the podcast today. We're going to rank the teams. I'm going to put my predictions in, and I'm going to have a guest that's gonna kind of give me his thoughts on what my rankings are and my predictions are, and we'll go through team by team like we always do before every tournament. With that being said, I'm gonna introduce my guest now, who it's been since the first Lifted podcast where everyone told me that my lighting was horrible and he looked so good in it, and now you know what I've decided to go darker. And so I got a little less lighting, but a lot more done since that year and a half or 2 years now that we've done this. I want to say it was probably 2 years till this date that I've done an interview or some sort of podcast with him. But my cousin, one of the kings of the court, the Koja Kobe, right? You can name him so many things, but Turab Kermally, thank you so much, Turab, for being here. Hopefully hosting a wonderful tournament, getting everyone to come out to Toronto. Thank you to you, United Stars, for allowing me to do this. But again, thank you for being here today to talk about your tournament.
Thanks for having me, bro. Assalamu alaikum.
Let's first dive into what's happened since we had our last interview, right? So a lot has happened. Number one, Lifted has taken off. Very thankful to you to be that first guy. Not only that, but we've had the most views on that, right? That interview. I mean, I think it's 2,000 plus on YouTube. I think 1,000 or 1,500 on audio. So we're looking at 3,500 people that actually sit there and listen to us talk. And that was really cool, man. I think that jump started Lifted. So thank you for that. But it's been a while, and a lot has happened since then.
A lot has happened, yeah.
And we'll talk about, and I'll fast forward a little bit, but before that was Orlando. That was when we did the Orlando tournament in December. That didn't go as planned. A lot of things changed for United Stars after that, additions, subtractions, and then we ended up going to Minnesota, I believe. And that's when everything changed, right? United Stars grabbed their chip. A wonderful time. We've talked to several people about that, but we got there and to Minnesota, and you guys won. You guys beat Orlando, took that hump of Orlando off your back, and you captured the glory once again. Talk to me a little bit about doing that first. Getting from December, where it almost looked like a low, right? A real low for United Stars, to just in a matter of a year getting to the promised land again and being the best.
So I mean, Orlando was a odd tournament because we played at the first day. I think things weren't great, and the second day was great, and then the third day we were getting a stride, and then we changed the court, and we ran into a Minnesota that was so hot, man.
Yeah.
We were watching them play Orlando B, and
Yep.
I think they were down 8-1, man, and they did some change, and they started pounding, and I looked at Jabber, and I was like, uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
But it was Minnesota, so I was happy.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But after that, I was like, okay, we definitely got to add some more strength, right? Um, I was talking to a few guys before Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
before Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
about potentially joining all together.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys I have a lot of respect for, as you know, like Usman, Amir, Imran, right?
Right.
Swaggy, and Konain and all these guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was like, we had to make a change, and we did. And yeah, it worked out in Minnesota. It was a roller coaster there too, right? Because
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've played a very singular game my entire career.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Never had another guy. It was all role players, right?
Right.
Now I got Usman next to me, and then
Mm-hmm.
Imran, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like I had to like figure out a way to make it all work. And it
Right.
did. Alhamdulillah, right? Everyone played awesome. I think what I realized that tournament is, our first win was in 2013.
Yeah.
10 years after, we were able to still stay there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
Pretty
Our
cool.
first finals, real finals, was in 2012.
Yeah.
Again, same front line that we
Yeah.
played in 2023. So I think
It's
I
pretty
was more
crazy.
proud for all of us to
Yes.
be able to keep this going, right? And it was
Yeah.
cool. We won, created a game plan and a style that
Hmm.
worked,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, it was cool.
The transition that you talk about from that singular game style, or having one piece and then you just kind of center everything around it. How was that transition for you? Because you go from a team that like you said was built around strictly you,
Yeah.
and then obviously you don't get me wrong, you have the best role players in the world, right? The Irfan, Kermally, Jaber, we can go on and on. But now you have added pieces that not only can be role players but can complement you. How has that transition
Oh,
been all this
it,
time?
it it's crazy because in my head, I'm like, okay, I got to get them the ball.
Yes,
In
of
their
course.
head,
Of course.
they're like, no, you keep the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's it's like we're passing the ball to one another,
Yeah.
as opposed to,
Yeah.
hey, I'm keeping my ball, you're not playing with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it was different, but it's a very good different, right?
Yeah.
It's a team sport. Um, there's 10, 11 of us, and it's great, man. Like you'd be surprised how respectful it is or how close we are through the wins and the losses.
Yeah, yeah. You got a lot of competitive people now on that team, right? Like Usman Lambada, you talk about Imran Nasir, and the additions not only brought talent but brought personality, I think, and that personality is what you need to win. I mean, I've learned that with Orlando, right?
Yeah, and you need to have people like you got to understand, man. You gotta look at a page from Jaffrey's book, right? You gotta
Mhm.
you gotta look at it. You gotta be able to utilize all your strengths, right?
Exactly.
And I think we've been doing that. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. A lot of the in our team meetings before a tournament, I'm like, all right, guys, listen, we got to do this and get the ball to this guy and get the ball
Right,
to
right, right, right.
their conversations always been we're playing around you and
Mhm.
you do what you want, right? So it's like
Right,
it's been an amazing journey thus far. I'm
right,
so happy we did it.
right.
Some of the best guys, great personalities, but man, they want all the smoke, man. Whether we lose or we
That's
win,
the best part. That's the
is
best part.
about it, right? And it's cool. But yeah, to top off, just to finish off about Orlando, yeah, it was not. I mean, about winning in Minnesota against Orlando, it was nice. We got over the hump, but you know, we've been there before, so it was nice. It was nice, but there's no feeling like the first one, right?
Yeah, like, of course, of
Nice.
course.
It was
You
nice.
you 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 take down the Orlando team that had just won, and then you go to New York with a lot of confidence, right? A lot of people favoring you to win there. New York was never kind to you in the past, you
Never
know.
ever.
But you come out of it and you play us in the semifinal. You beat 2.0 in a very good quarterfinal, but two straight, right? Everything looks like it's rolling. Everything looks like it's good. And then you get into that semifinal, and it almost felt like what happened, right? Like it almost felt like, you guys were not ready for that moment. And I'm not saying you weren't. I'm just saying that, it looked that way because the games had not been as competitive as we thought. Now, don't get me wrong. I think you took us down two straight in Minnesota, and those games didn't look as competitive as we thought. And
Yeah.
so we get kind of, I think it's a chess match, right, with us. It's not so much it's not so much which team can win, is who's going to win on that given day. And I think that day, we strategized, against what you probably had game plan against us previously. And now we get to go against you, and we get to do our game plan. And the next time we play, you're gonna have a different game plan.
Yeah.
But what was that like after New York, right? Like, because again, a lot of good victories, right? Beating 2.0 was like, whoa, and in a very good match. Like that second game was amazing to watch, right? Kids are making that comeback, and it was awesome. But what happens after New York? Do you guys go back to the drawing board and go, hey, it's okay. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. Let's on to the next one.
Yeah, for sure, man. Doing this for almost 20 years now, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, right? Look, New York, I'll tell you, and it's not an excuse, but I kind of let my team down from the second I landed. I was injured. I was injured 3 weeks, 4 weeks prior to the tournament. I hadn't been practicing. I
Mm-hmm.
was a Debbie Downer, for lack of
Yeah,
better words, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and I didn't play on Friday, right? I
Mhm.
barely played on Saturday,
Yeah.
right? No one's gonna say that, right? But that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sunday, sorry, on in the morning when we were playing Jaffrey's 2.0, I was
Hmm.
like, hey, whatever I got, I'm gonna throw it at them, right?
Right.
Because to me, they were the scariest matchup of the tournament
Right.
because you
Yeah.
got Keller
Hmm.
and Nick and the rest of the supporting guys,
Yep.
and I mean, look, they're danger, right?
They
So I was like,
are. They are.
let me really focus in. I wasn't even thinking about Orlando at that time, to be honest with you, right? Um, or after we were able to get through that, that's when we started thinking about Orlando, and you guys were just more prepared. I think you guys played better.
Right.
Um, I think, we didn't game plan well enough, and
Hmm.
that's on me, as the captain for sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, I've heard so much nonsense after that, right? I'm kind of
Right.
like, okay, usually whoever's saying that is probably watching from outside, right? And
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
teams that are in the mix are usually not that harsh,
Right.
because they know
Agreed.
what it takes to even get there,
Yeah.
right? To
Yeah.
even get to a quarters or a semis
Yeah.
or a finals or to win, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So no, I mean I was cool with it. Salman, you know me very well. Um, I'm not a good loser.
Yeah. 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 That I know. Yeah.
I, I've learned to accept it over the years. You're gonna
Right.
lose more than you'll win. I've said this before.
Of course.
And it's hey man, it keeps the journey going. It's fun to know that you have to crack the code again.
Exactly.
And will
Exactly.
we? For sure we will again, right?
The
My
the the and I don't mean to cut you off, but after Orlando, the narrative is, hey, he needs more pieces.
yeah.
Once you get more pieces, wow, they won and they're unstoppable, and the pieces helped him get over the hump.
Yeah.
Then you get to New York, and oh, the pieces aren't working anymore. There needs to be
Yeah.
a change.
Yeah.
You know how this works, right? The game is this
But
way,
it's
right? Like,
but no, it's not only the game, that's life.
yeah,
Right? Like you allow people to influence every decision you're gonna make, be it at home or in your volleyball team or in your business, you're gonna fail.
yeah, yeah,
It's usually the opinions are usually coming from those on the sidelines,
yeah.
right? I
Always.
hear
Yeah,
I hear everything. I definitely hear it. And if I
right.
don't want to hear it, someone will come and share it with me,
Yeah,
right?
of course, of course, of course.
I'm not a kid anymore.
Right.
36 years old. I could care less what anyone really has to say. As long as I'm not like I want to be that positive impact, right?
Yes, agreed.
A player, right? I want people to be like, I want to play like that guy, or I want to learn how to do this or
Yeah,
whatever. But
yeah,
when it comes to like, oh, he should have done this or changed this, or they need to add this, bruh, I don't care. Like
yeah.
the reality is that, you know, I'll tell you, like after listening to all the stuff that I heard,
Hmm.
I had to call Jaffrey's and be like, yo, listen, I understand what you feel.
Right, right, right,
They've done it at a much higher level, right? But it's
right.
like, hey, you've won X amount.
Yeah,
What you're looking for is a little bit of your respect.
right, right.
Same shoes I'm in on a smaller level. I'm not looking for any, like, I don't want to be called the best and oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
none of
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just we can't rewrite history, right? What's done is done. You're not
Yeah.
gonna take it away from me, right?
Exactly,
When
exactly.
I heard some of the stuff I heard, yeah, I mean, I wasn't happy about it, but I don't care. So no, I didn't take it too seriously that we have to add more pieces, right? Um, we lost. It's
After,
cool.
after you.
Sorry, let me ask you a question. After you guys lost in
Hmm.
2023,
Hmm.
I didn't hear anyone say you gotta add some pieces or make some big changes. But
Yeah,
when we
true,
lost, it was like,
true.
hey, they gotta do X. No, we
Yeah,
don't.
true,
It's gonna
true.
be okay.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. It almost, it's almost like in this game when you're polarizing, when you're a polarizing figure, right? There's so many people to scrutinize you and criticize you and want to fix everything about you, and it's almost like, that's just a part of the gig, right? And so, as like you said, we've been doing this for 15, 16, 17, maybe 20 years now. You kind of learn that everyone's going to have something to say,
It's
you
what it
know
is.
it just doesn't, you got to move on and do what you think
Absolutely,
is right.
absolutely.
um when you go into Al Wahda,
Yeah,
obviously a smaller scaled tournament, a tournament really, really just for the people in our community, just to, get the vibes there and people to come out, and, it's a festival and it's pretty cool. And Jaffrey's did a great job with it. And do you go into Al Wahda thinking, hey, man, this is a good time to kind of right our wrongs and see what we might have been doing different, or try to do something different, or just kind of catch your rhythm again, because you took an L, and then sometimes you just need that confidence boost. What did you think Al Wahda was going to be like in terms of like for your team specifically? Because I know everyone almost gears down for Al Wahda, and it's not a shot at Al Wahda, but it's not a grand tournament, right? Like the New York and like
Yeah. But the live stream helped, right? Jaffrey's made it cool, right?
Oh, they made it so cool.
The tournament they
They
organized it
did
well.
such a good job. Yes,
Fun.
yes, yes.
What was I expecting? Now I wasn't expecting what I got myself into. That's for
Yeah,
damn sure.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah,
I wasn't expecting the
yeah,
smoke.
yeah, yeah.
We were chilling, first day, second day, everything
Cruising. Yeah,
was supposed to be a vibe, right?
yeah,
And then, man, the semis and quarters and all the games were good. And I gotta say, man, I watched you play in the quarters, and I'm not saying this because we're doing this. Um, I saw in you what I used to see in you.
yeah.
And
Thank you,
the
man.
older brother, I was super proud of you because,
Thank you.
man, oh man, you were doing your thing.
Yeah, thank you, thank
So
you,
when
thank
I
you.
saw that, and then I got to see, 2.0 play, right?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
see, Munanko do his thing and
mm-hmm.
Kizer and,
Yeah,
even Hussein playing center for 3.0 doing,
yeah. That was great to watch. Yeah,
and then I saw there was another team that actually I was looking at. Man, it's not the Minnesota guys. They brought
Minnesota
some
guys. Yeah, I was just about to say I was so proud of those guys.
and they did a great job. So it was fun. And then when we got into the finals
Mm-hmm.
with a team we know very well because we practice a lot,
Yeah,
did I think that they could beat us? Yeah, of course. They've beaten us in practice a few times. It crossed my mind, but I thought that it would be easier than I expected it to
yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And when we got into that court, I realized that these guys are not here to play no games.
Oh no, they weren't.
They,
Yeah, that's
they
for sure.
were on something, man. And they Suhail and Sabir and Agent and I know I'm gonna forget someone, but anyways, nonetheless, Zubair, Ashraf Uncle,
Yeah, 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 yeah. All
right?
of them, man.
Right, they're netties. They played incredible. So I
Amazing.
think we went 1-1, and then in the third game we're up 4-love,
Mm-hmm.
and they just were able to tie up the game, and then we took a lead of 7-5.
Yeah, it was
A
crazy,
minute
man.
to go, and then they came back. So, but that didn't bother me at all. I mean, I think we met that night.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
I think all the guys were at my home,
yeah,
and yeah, it didn't bother me at all because, you know, I had so much fun.
yeah,
Right? I had no strategy, no game plan, no nothing. I told our team, I'm like, listen, I'm just gonna swing,
yeah,
and so let me just find it again because I felt
yeah.
like after New York, I didn't get to play much, and
Yes, yes,
I had a lot of fun, man, because I saw a little bit of old me in there,
yes,
and
exactly. Right.
at 36, when you're able to still get up, you're like, okay, cool. So
Yeah.
it felt good.
No,
It felt good. I didn't mind. No, and plus they're really, really, really solid guys.
oh, they're
So
awesome. They're
they
awesome.
put a lot of effort into it, man. They've been practicing a lot, so I'm
Couldn't
happy
have
for them.
happened to a better bunch of
Yeah,
people, man.
yeah,
I love those guys. I think that tournament was we saw a lot of vintage performances, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like you said, Hussein Gigi in the middle, vintage, right? Like seeing him come and do his thing and almost taking 3.0 into the playoffs. I mean, there was vintage performances ever, Mun Uncle, everything, and then we got to watch you in the finals. And I say it that it's a vintage throughout performance because it almost felt like you took it on head on, like one on one. Let's do this. You saw Suhail across you, and you almost took that like, all right, man, you want to play for real? Let's do it. And it was fun because Suhail was coming, you were gunning, and it was a great time. One of
Yeah.
the best finals I've watched. We've talked about this, right? One of the best finals I watched. A lot of people compared it to the final that we had in 2019. We haven't had that many good finals in a long time. A lot of finals are too straight or not competitive recently. And it's not that the game isn't competitive, it's just that the matchups don't play that way.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you meet and it's the match and the matchup is just right, this one was just right. I mean, to
Yeah.
come down to the last rally, I mean, you don't get that. You got that. We got that last in 2019. That matchup was just right. And so I think it was kudos to Warriors, but kudos to you as well and Stars. And, it was just fun. You brought on some new netties. You added Mohamed. You gave some guys some reps like you would in Al Wahda, where, they get a chance to experience that moment. And it was just nice all around. And again, like I said, to see you come in and do what you did at that level again, you're right. Sometimes you just think you don't have it, and all of a sudden you realize, man, there's still a little left in the tank. I had played the quarterfinals without my knee braces for the first time in like 6 years. So, like,
Yeah.
you just kind of feel that steam, right?
Fun, man. It's fun. That's
It's a
what it's
lot of
about.
fun.
It's about being able to, get a bit of that old feeling back. Look, life's tough, right? It's busy. Everyone has a life outside of volleyball. So
Right.
this is like an escape, right?
Right.
And that's the great part about it. It's just, when people ruin the escape is when it's kind of like a drag.
Yeah.
But no, it
Agreed.
was fun. And honestly, again, I'll say Warriors, they are one dangerous team. Let me tell you.
They are.
And they
They
got the game on lock now. And hey,
and they, look, they've not only have they got the game on lock, they've adjusted to our style, but they got a good crowd. Like their
yeah,
crowd
yeah, the crowd, man, and yeah,
was
it was
bumping,
buzzing,
man.
man. It
Like
was buzzing, man. And
yeah,
I love playing against them. And yeah, no doubt. I'm happy. I'm happy for. Of course, I don't like to lose, but I was definitely happy for them.
definitely. I agree. I agree. Agent, again, like I said, Agent, such a good guy. Everyone, Saber, all those guys, Suhail, amazing people. Um, we move on past that, not knowing that there's going to be a tournament. We thought maybe the next time we'll play each other would be in May of next year with Vancouver. All of a sudden, we hear there's a tournament in the works, and United Stars are planning to host a tournament, which hasn't happened in a very long time.
Yeah.
Pretty cool to see United Stars back into the hosting gig, and they've always hosted. Everyone talks about the triangular tournaments, and you guys, Stars always hosting great tournaments. You guys decide to host this, make it an invitational, top teams attending this tournament. It's awesome, right? You're going to get the best of the best, and you get to play at Bathurst, which always has an aura about it. Talk to me about this tournament, what to expect, tell the people about, I know there's a captain's meeting coming up. There's a lot of things coming up, but format wise, the thought process behind this tournament. And then again, obviously you hosting for the first time in years. Talk to me
Yeah.
about that.
So I mean, United Stars was always a hosting team. I
Mm.
grew up to it being a hosting team, right?
Yes.
And we used to host grand events. In fact, the festivals, I believe, in volleyball started through United Stars, if
Mm.
I'm correct on that.
Mm.
Oscar Uncle used to run those, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Have
yeah.
like he used to tell me all the time. He still tells me until today. You got to host, got to host, got to host.
Yeah.
They used to do a great job, and to be honest with you, I was just way too like I just wanted to play. I
Yeah.
wasn't get into all that.
Yeah.
But I think the last few tournaments we had discussions, all of us, right? The older
Mm.
guys, the younger guys. Hey, we need something with less teams, right? Where we have some very, I guess, qualified teams, quality games, right? So at first, Matham was going to do it,
Yes.
Detroit. But then Alberti told me that if we hold it in Toronto, it's a possibility for Stanmore to make it
Yeah. Yeah.
because of the flights.
Yeah.
So I told Matham, okay, I talked to our team and Irfan and Jabir and the rest of the guys, Imran, Uzi, everyone was like, all right, let's do it. Right.
Mm.
Muhaymin was like, I'll back you up. So when I knew that him, Shabir, and these guys were all going to back me up because I was scared about that.
Yeah.
about
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I said, cool. Right. So I was able to speak to our Jamaat and they gave me the Bathurst courts. Right.
Which is super
Um,
cool.
which
Yeah.
is very helpful. And they've been
Yeah.
amazing. First few things I did was contact some of the teams like Jaffrey's.
Mm.
I contacted Stanmore, Orlando. I contacted Minnesota, and all the other teams, and just to get the vibe right.
The
So when
vibe.
they're going to support it, right? I was I've never done a tournament, so I don't know how to live stream.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I spoke to my uncle. He said, "Don't worry, I'll handle the live streaming." That was one thing off my back. I
Exactly. He does such a good job with it too,
yeah, of course. And then the venue has a restaurant in there where, I knew we would
Mm.
be okay. So from there, I was like, all right, let's do it. So I sent the announcement out and, alhamdulillah, everybody supported,
Yeah.
right? Which I'm very grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what our idea behind this tournament is to have really good games through the round robin, right?
Yes.
Make it so that it's competitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we'll have probably one of the best playoff rounds we've ever seen.
I think so too. It's gonna be
Yeah. It's gonna be good. Bathurst does have an aura about it. Bathurst is not a forgiving court.
it's not.
Bathurst will test your defense. Bathurst plays very well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and yeah, I think teams are gonna do great. All high caliber teams are gonna do great. And I don't think we've seen this in a while, or the last time we've seen this is like the arcade tournaments.
Yeah. It brings back that aura, right? Of that
Yeah.
of those arcade tournaments.
Yeah.
And I think from a very famous saying that you use quite often, this tournament, I don't think it's about seeding. I think it's about who you're playing in those big games. Styles make fights.
Fights. Absolutely.
So I think this time we'll see a lot of clashing styles, and you just never know which way the coins
Yeah,
will go.
because and they do make fights. Because if you think about it, with New York, when we lost to Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
if 2.0 beats us,
Yeah, we're gonna have a tough time with
oh man,
2.0, bro.
I think Orlando's in trouble that day.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
like styles make fights, right? So
100%.
yeah, I agree. I don't think we have like it depends on how all the seedings match up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
I'm gonna ask you a few questions that I've gotten from outside. You can leak it. You can tell me. You can not tell me. It's okay. Is there a format that you wanna tell everyone that's gonna be? Is there gonna be full round robin, play in, no play in, straight quarters? What are we expecting here?
So I haven't spoke to the board of directors of the tournament, so I'm not sure. No, I'm just playing. It's gonna be a full round robin.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's gonna be more than 15 minutes a game.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
it is the plane is undecided yet. It all depends on the schedule.
Timing, right? Yeah.
Got two courts, so the timing is
Mm-hmm.
gonna be around that, right?
Okay. Okay.
But the idea is to make it as competitive as possible, as
Yeah.
fair as possible, right?
Right.
We want to see all the good teams have their shot.
Can you tell me if the second question I've gotten is the partition going to be open in the middle?
That's undecided yet.
Oh my God. Come on, T.
No, it's gonna be open. It's gonna be open.
A lot of people are excited for this tournament. They're excited for that, for the matter of the fact that it's going to be at Bathurst, for the matter of the fact that it's going to be, longer round robin games. Where you can't just steal a game. You got to earn that game. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people are going to be happy about that. With that being said, how has it been being the host for the first time?
Yo,
Not telling people your complaints, but but instead getting complaints. How has it been so far?
I apologize to every organizer for me complaining
Yeah,
about schedules or
yeah,
whatever I've complained about. No, it's nerve-wracking just because I want to make sure that we provide a good time,
of
right?
course, of
Everyone has
course.
been very supportive.
Yeah,
And I just want to make sure that we provide a fair environment, good time, good games, good food, good all of that, right? So, look, I have a great team that's supporting. My family's supportive, right?
mm-hmm.
So, as long as I have these two backing us up, we're gonna be okay. But yeah, it's nerve-wracking only for the fact that you want to make sure everybody has a good time, right?
100%,
People are spending
100%.
their hard-earned money, and
That's
I
it.
want to make sure that we give them something for it. So, inshallah, God will help us through it, and we will be able to host a good event.
For sure. I think um
And it's
I,
at a
I
mosque. We should be all right.
exactly. Yeah, we should be okay. We got the blessings. I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be a doozy. I think it's gonna be awesome. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. With that being said, I want to continue this interview with a lot of. I have so many other questions. We have so many parts to this journey, right? But I always told you that we'll have part one, which was the first, and then later on we'll do a part two, which is
Yeah,
towards the latter end of our career. So
yeah.
I thank you for the 10, 15 minutes you just gave me, but there's so much more we can talk about. But that's going to be like a 6 hour interview. I'm going to continue on to my predictions. Now, listen, I told you I'm going to tell you what I think the rankings are going to be from 12 to 1. I'm going to preface this by saying that these rankings are based off three things. Number one, previous tournaments. I'm going to take everything into account in terms of previous tournaments and where these teams have ranked. Number two, I'm going to think about the subtractions and additions that I've heard because I don't know, and maybe you can confirm, but I've heard that have happened within these teams. And then number three, obviously, I'm going to take into consideration that I don't know if there's a plan, there's not a plan.
Uh-huh.
So, if there's a plan, of course, any of these teams can make it in. And if there's no plan, then it's going to be top eight. But I don't know. So, wherever you're ranked as a team, just know that it's with love and respect. But it's also going to be like, hey, it can be a crapshoot, bro. Anybody can win this thing, and anybody can make it in on any given day, like we
I,
said.
I'm not correcting your ranking. I'm just gonna put my opinion on the team.
That's it. That's it.
Okay,
That's
cool.
all I'm asking for. I don't worry, I won't put you in that spot. I'm gonna start with number 12. We're gonna go all the way to one,
Okay.
and then we're gonna go into some predictions at the end. Number
Okay.
12 is North.
Mhm.
And no, this is not a disrespect to North. Obviously, we all know North is a glorified team, right? Like everyone loves watching North. They come with so much glory. They come with so much passion and a lot of love, right? With that team. A lot of people like, they see that team and they enjoy the moments with them. But again, we've heard new team. They've lost a boss. No Samir this time. He's playing for United Stars, right? The same team we saw, in Alwada, which was amazing, competitive, down to the wire quarterfinal. That might not be the same team this time. Yes, of course, they have the similar pieces like Fayez is there. Of course, Jamil is there. Khalil Sumar, I think, is there. They're going to have good pieces, but they've lost a few. And when you lose a few, you almost are revamping and trying to figure out what your next steps are. I don't know if any of those guys from New York are going to be there, like Altaz but I just hope that everyone understands that with this ranking, it's only because of the uncertainty. And
Yeah.
I think that Amil also, right? You don't know if Amil's playing with them. If not, I don't know who he's playing for. But it's just a matter of like I don't know where this team's gonna be. But for now, I'm looking at them as the most uncertain team. And
Yeah.
so at number 12, they can easily sneak in. They can easily make it in. But at number 12, that's why I have them there. What have you heard about North and what do they look like? And what's your take on that?
So yeah, you're right. I think Abbas is no longer at North.
Yeah,
Uh, not I think I know.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I'm sure there's a few pieces missing. But one
Right.
thing about North, man, there's a spirit in that jersey.
100%, man.
So
Can't beat
12,
that.
6, 5, 3, or 2, it don't matter,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I've seen North after Marhum passed
Mm-hmm.
have different players play different positions and get to a finals, right?
Seriously.
And then obviously in 18 they won with Lambada.
Yeah.
So uh I don't know what to expect either, but I wouldn't sleep on them.
I agree. I still remember the time that Ali Muhammad comes into the back center and like what an
I'll never
unbelievable
I
thought,
just
bro.
couldn't I can't I still watch that video sometimes.
Yeah,
Just
I
like
just
you are him.
yeah, seriously. Seriously. At number 11, I'm gonna have RK's OG. And just because again, we don't know what we're gonna expect from them, right? New team, not necessarily new, but in the sense that they've rebuilt, they're coming out of that nostalgic time that we thought we had with RKs, forever and ever and ever, and then it doesn't happen anymore, and then they all go their separate ways. Now they're back together. Number one, seeing Abbas and Shanu on the court together is just going to be so much fun, no matter what, right? Number two, the nostalgia, like I talk about, that factor of just RK's Golden Eagles, just donning that jersey, seeing them together. They have an aura about them. They always did. Raza Kimji Marhum always had an aura about him too. And the Golden Eagles just being back, right? But again, we don't know what to expect after all these years, right? They're coming back together. What's their team like? Do they have new pieces? I know that Abbas is doing something super cool in Toronto right now, where he's training younger guys and he's bringing in guys, and they're probably going to give these guys a chance, right? So, with that being said, you have that mix. It may just take them a tournament or two to kind of figure that out. So that's why I have him at number 11. Again, similar to North, uncertainty, but again, anytime, any given day, and we always say this about our case, right? They could be the eighth seed on coming into Sunday, but if they catch fire, they could win the whole thing.
Yeah, so here's my take. I grew up in an era where RKs were a team you look at and you're like, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Seeing Abbas and Shanu on the court again is enough for me. For me, just to get that smell of that Richmond High School gym back,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
can't
yeah,
put a price on that. Now, having
yeah.
said that, game has evolved, game has changed.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't teach an old dog new tricks, man. These
Yeah.
guys still have it. I've seen them play recently. When I say recently, Shanu had come to practice in the last 12 months or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They still got it, man. So
Yeah.
like, if I was in a situation where United Stars is playing them in a quarterfinals on Sunday morning,
Yeah. Scary thought.
bruh,
Scary thought.
I, look, they got it. They're still who they are.
Mm.
Father Time catches up to all of us,
Yeah.
including me, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the fact that at their age now they're still playing at this level is honor, anyways.
It
And for
is.
anybody who has an opinion on it, wait till they get to that age and let's see
Yeah.
if they
Seriously.
all
I
right.
um I just have this thing, right, with arcades where like I grew up just getting
Yeah, 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 bro. You
beat
saw
down by them
Simon
every
Houston.
chance, bro. They've
Yeah,
taken
yeah,
me out in so many semis, so many quarters, and then obviously that final in Minnesota. Like they've taken me down every chance they've gotten. And so sometimes just watching them across or seeing them
no,
on
doesn't Warriors remind you of a
very much,
prime
very
market?
much,
Just
very
just
much.
play, just play.
It's like the new arcades, right? Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
just come out guns hot. They don't care,
yeah.
who's across them, right? And so it's just going to be a lot of fun seeing Abbas and Shanu together. And I've always prayed for it to to manifest and happen, and it did.
Talked
And
about it a lot. You manifested this, so it's happening.
yeah, yeah, it's happening, and hopefully, it all comes together for all of them, all the Kimjis. I hope they're all eventually end up together. It's going to be a sight to see. At number 10, I'm going to have Van City, and again, uncertainty because I've heard they've had new additions, not only new additions, new lineup changes. right? But also the last tournament, after making back-to-back quarterfinals, right? They didn't qualify, and it was almost a disappointment because that was the expectation that they're going to take that next step. Now coming into this, they want to showcase what they have going into Vancouver, right? Qualifying here would be a big step for them, but also the fact that again they're bringing in new guys, younger guys, trying to figure out if they can, fit the mold and see what they can grow on. What's your take on Vancouver in terms of like we've seen them? They're a very capable team. Is just the inexperience sometimes gets the best of them, right? The inexperience of that front line, the inexperience of some of the new guys they bring on, and it's a team that's very much like Minnesota and New York, where they pretty much just practice amongst themselves, right? So they're trying to grow that way. What is your take on Van City, and what is your expectation of them?
See, a lot of our parents migrated to Toronto, New York, Orlando.
Yes.
Yeah, Toronto, New York, Orlando. Vancouver wasn't somewhere a lot of our volleyball parents migrated to, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think volleyball has been as deep in Vancouver as it has been in these other areas.
Of course.
So for that reason, I actually give Vancouver a lot of props
100%.
because to be able to establish themselves as a contending team, they did really well in Orlando. Okay. They took games off North. They took games off some good teams. I think
they
took
beat Stanmore too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
I remember they gave us a tough time in the round robin. I think they took a game off Minnesota.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't take anything away from them. See, the thing is that people I've heard the jokes, right? But I don't know. I think Mokaku, Mehdi Kaku, Nabil, the rest of the team, I think they have a very bright future. I think Mo's great. I think Mehdi's great. I think Nabil's great. So and the rest of the team. But I think it's an unfair comparison to the other teams because of the pool of players that we have and who we get to practice with day in,
That's
day
fair.
out. Practice for 3-4 weeks. That fifth, sixth, 7th week, I'm not good.
Yeah.
So imagine building that up, right? Without having that pool of players and still getting this far and still traveling and still coming.
Agreed.
What I respect about them is that this kind of tournament, they could have easily said, hey, we don't want
100%.
But when you come out and you say, you know what, I want the smoke.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for that. So inshallah, I hope they do well. Okay. I know Mehdi and Mo on a personal level, and I know they've put a lot of effort, and I hope it works out for them. And I think they're gonna do well, man. I think whether it's this tournament or the next tournament or whatever it is, I think Vancouver's gonna make some noise in the future.
Look, I honestly think I agree with you wholeheartedly about everything you said. Not only have they built Vancouver into a volleyball town now, but every time you call Mehdi and tell him, man, there's a tournament here, he's going to do his very best to make it. And it's not easy for them all the way out there on the West Coast, right? You don't see LA, you don't see those guys, right? But Vancouver has made it a point.
And Sal, the best ability is reliability,
and availability, right?
And availability, right? So they're reliable, they're available, they're making waves, and inshallah they'll do well.
The Edmontons and the Calgarys, and they always try to attend as many tournaments, but Vancouver's always a staple, right? They always make it, and that's why I think them hosting next year, a lot of people should try to make it out there because they've always supported every tournament.
Sure, we'll be there.
I think that they're working towards it. Yeah, is there a point where you almost are like, it's got to give, you got to make that next step? Yeah, but you know what? At least they haven't stopped trying, and I think they make that stride very soon. Number 9. And again, I'm going off the last tournament, the only time I've seen this team, which is Jaffrey's OG, right? I don't know their roster. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if Munankle's playing with them or Husney is playing with them or Mebu's playing with them. What I do know is that the last time we saw them, it wasn't the greatest showing. But what we do know also about Jaffrey's, all the OGs on Jaffrey's, is that expect the unexpected, right? Yeah. Like, the only thing that you can always know is that they're going to be there, giving their 100. We saw it. I commend Hussein Gigi for doing the things he's been doing with Jaffrey's, playing on 3.0, trying. They won some big games in Alwada, trying, playing with his son, playing with younger kids, just trying to help them out. And I don't know if he's going to be on OG or 2.0. My hope is that he's on 2.0 so that I can play him in a competitive game again. But if he's on OG, right? Like, dude, you got Mehboob, you got Husni. I don't know if you got Mununcle, but if you got any of those guys, any given day, they could take you down, right? So again, this is just based off the fact that, the last tournament obviously didn't go as planned for them. I don't know their roster, but what I do know is that they're going to come in guns hot. They're always going to be competitive. They're always going to bring that aura, that swagger, that you're always going to sit there for a second and sit there and across them before the game starts and be like, Hussein Gigi serving, he takes 3, 4 points, and all of a sudden you hear boom, and you're like, you know what, man, this could turn really bad really fast. What's your take on Jaffrey's OG? Are they revamped? You probably know more than I do, but what's your take on them?
So their roster is strong.
Okay.
But here's the thing about Jaffrey's OG. Even in New York, before we played them, there wasn't many games where in the round robin, I was like, hey, guys, listen. But before we played them, I was like, hey, guys, look,
Yeah.
what happened? Be
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah.
You know, they look, I saw them play. I think Mononko got hurt pretty. I remember we were
He
behind
did. He did. Halfway through,
and,
yeah.
and he was flighting the ball, and we were all like, oh my
Oh
God,
my
and that
God.
hurt,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I never ever count out anyone who's any of the Jaffrey's OG guys. So for me, it's like I won't be surprised if they're in the top four, bro.
Yeah. But there's no shocker there.
No,
Again,
not
like I
at
said,
all.
I don't have all.
Especially in Bathurst.
Yes. Home court.
This is
Yeah.
where the Emirates serve was
Yeah.
built, right? So listen, man, there's
Yeah.
a few guys that you don't mess with in terms of the OGs, right?
Yeah.
So it's Jaffrey's OG guys and some of our OG guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're I don't know, bro. I think we're gonna be surprised with that one.
The only thing for sure about Jaffrey's OG is that nothing is for sure. So
Yeah,
you never
bro,
know.
nothing at all, man.
You
Nothing.
never know. You never know. Number 8, Orlando Union. And I have them at number 8 because of the fact that, let's call it a spade a spade. It's not the team that we all expect, right?
I
It
like
is,
how you did that. I like how you did that. That was
yeah.
good. That was good.
the the
The
expectation
expectation low. Keep the expectation low. I
the
like that.
expectation is just like Alwada. We got a lot of younger guys, but we also have guys like Freddie. We have guys like Maz, guys like Ari, right? Musti. We have those guys. But we also have younger guys and the guys that are on the B team that are looking to make a name, trying to figure out their footings, Amstar, Ali Akbar, Alu, obviously, the protege, Hasnain, and all these guys, right? We got a lot of Muzzer Ali. We got a lot of young guys. So all these guys are just trying to figure out where they stand and trying to make a name for themselves. And I think that our goal this time is going to be to qualify. Our goal this time is going to be to try to fight our way in and make the playoffs. And I think it's a good mix. It's a little more veterans than the Al Wahda team. So I think, yeah, okay, there should be the expectation to make it, but it's not Orlando Union A. It's Orlando Union, and we're gonna do our best to try to make it in. But I do foresee us fighting with the guys like OGs, with the guys like Van City, with guys like North, RKs, to try to make it in. And you got to win those games. And so hopefully we do, and hopefully we make it in. But I have us at 8.
Are you on the court?
Yes, for now.
You're on the court?
Yeah, I'll be on the court. Yeah.
Um, I think your ranking. Actually, I'm not gonna comment on your ranking. I think that Orlando Union, when you wear a Jaffrey shirt or a United Stars shirt or an Orlando Union shirt, it doesn't matter who's on your team. I
Okay.
think that's just the reality.
Right.
Never got a pass. Jaffrey's
True.
never get a pass.
True.
And Orlando Union surely ain't getting no pass, bro.
True. That's fair.
So whether you come 8, 1, 6, 5, 12, I
Yeah.
don't care. For me, Orlando Union is at this tournament.
Right.
And I expect the same Orlando Union from every other tournament that's been there, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Salman Kermally is playing.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean much anymore.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Doesn't mean much anymore.
Don't set the bar low. So the expectation don't do that. You are expected to do your thing. You have Freddie with you. I think you have some great netties, some great supporting players. You got Maz, and I played with Maz, and I think he's going to be a big piece for you.
Yeah.
I jokes aside, I think you guys will do great. I think people may sleep on it a little bit because the front line is not there, right? Because Alu's not there.
Right.
But I believe you guys will do well.
Yeah, look, man, listen, we tried to get Alu to come, but yeah, we got the better one. We got the better Alu, Ali Akbar Alu. So it doesn't matter.
Right, it's not Alu, everyone says that about Irfan. You got better. It's all good.
At number 7, again, based off of previous tournaments, based off of the fact that it's a home tournament, I think United Stars B locks in at number 7 for me because they got Mohaimin back. Mohaimin wasn't there for Al Wahda. They've done really well the last 2 round robins they've been in, right? Yeah, okay, playoff time, they haven't lived up to the expectation. But a young team, besides Atish, that's for you. Good vibes, right? and good camaraderie. They got something going there that just looks like a lot of fun. And you add the element of Mohamed only getting better. You add the element of they're at home, United Stars tournament. The expectation should be, hey, you're gonna make it in. You've done really well. You've beaten some good teams. I think they beat us in the round robin in New York, right? Like, dude, they should be in there. What's your expectation as the overall head of United Stars for United Stars B?
Very high. I see. You have to understand. Championships are cool. Hosting a tournament is cool. Playing with my best friends is cool. But my most proudest moment is developing this B team
Exactly. Yeah.
because I know that I've got to pass it on.
Yeah.
Right. I
Yeah.
looked at Jaffrey's. They had the Kizzer to pass it on to. Right. Irfan and we've been playing together forever. Like when I
Yeah.
stop, he's gonna stop playing. Jabber's gonna stop playing. Right. So it's like, who's that guy? And
Yeah.
Muhammad is that guy. So I believe Muhammad is going to etch himself very soon as one of the better players in the game.
Yeah. 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 He's on
Not
his way. He's on his way.
not far, but
Yeah.
I I have high expectations from them. They have a great team. They practice against us. They give us problems in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're well oiled. They've added some new pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they got a great netty combination in Ali Rashid and Fuad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna do fantastic, inshallah. But it's also it's okay. Like it's all part of the learning process, right?
Yeah.
So
No,
if
100%.
they lose to an OG,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
or if they lose to whoever, I'm not surprised. It's learning. But I'm very proud of them. They handled themselves really well. They play with no fear. So I think they're gonna do damn well.
I agree with you. I think, but also at the same time, and this is not to like put any pressure on them, but like you said, for a player like Mohamed to take that next step,
Yeah.
it needs to be done in the grandest stage. You
But
can,
to be fair to that, it's still early. And he will. But yeah, and for sure, look, I'll tell you this much. It's gonna happen. I don't know if it happens this tournament. I don't know if it happens next tournament, but it's gonna happen. But I do have high expectations from them.
I agree, but I also think, and you're right, it still is early. But a part of me also thinks so highly of Mohamed's game because I've seen him beat the top dogs in round robin. He has taken everyone down you can think of in the round robin game.
His support has been amazing, right?
Oh,
So
for sure.
so
But
I
I think that support and with Mohamed, there is a level of like, okay, you got to win at least one game in a quarterfinal.
they will. They
I'm
will.
not asking for you to make it the semis because look, the
Yeah.
thought process is listen, United Stars, hey, every tournament we start by the middle of that tournament, you know what everyone's talking about? United Stars A, United Stars B are going to meet in the semis. They're going to meet in the finals. Like that's what everyone thinks, right? Because you guys are both playing so well.
Yeah.
But it comes down to the difference is, hey, when you get to the pressure cooker moments, who's going to shine? Pressure makes diamonds, man. So we gotta find that right
Yeah, yeah.
and I think we will. I think we will.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying
And
that
we're gonna be right behind them, and they're gonna do their thing. But yeah, we'll see. I think inshallah they do well,
I think they
but
will. I think they're gonna
I
do awesome.
expect them. I
Yeah,
expect them to do well.
yeah, agreed. And then the beauty is you get a 7-2 matchup. If let's just say they're ranked at 7 and you get a 7-2 matchup. Whoever's here at the top, they can beat. So it's crazy.
No, they have the Mohamed Dala connection.
Yes,
That
yes,
Jabber and I have had,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
have a front center like that Irfan had, like how we had with Irfan, or how we have with Irfan, that we rely on him. He's the nucleus, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Have Shabir in his back right that is strong, and then they've added some young guys in the front line.
Yeah,
So I think they're gonna do great.
yeah,
But we're not putting that kind of pressure on them.
yeah. I am, but yeah,
I know
yeah.
you are. I'm not. Uh, but I expect them, inshallah, to do well. And if they don't,
No,
next time,
inshallah, I think they will. I think they will.
yeah,
Number 6, probably the most fun team here to talk about. And I said I teased it a little bit at the end of the last episode, and that's Stanmore. First of all, kudos to Stanmore to coming all the way out here, right?
100%.
A lot of respect to them, a lot of love for them for making it out. And obviously, it's not easy coming from all the way from London, but it definitely magnified this tournament. It made it so much better hearing that Stanmore's coming. But not only are they coming, they're coming with an addition or two. And, the core guys with Amirli, Abbasali, Kumi, right? You still got that vibe. But now you've added Bilal Kaba. And I look, everyone knows I'm a very big fan of Bilal Kaba's game, right? But I think that it's because what they have lacked in Mutz, which obviously now showcases as he was a huge piece, bro. Mutz Blue was a huge piece to this puzzle. And I think people underrated him, right? They didn't think about him. They didn't think about the fact that he was kind of the glue between everyone, right? He was in the middle. And maybe he wasn't the most flamboyant center or the most, like dominant center, but he helped keep this team together. And I think now where you see them scrambling a little bit to kind of figure out what's the next step, I don't know if Bilal Kaba is playing center. What I do know is that if Bilal Kaba is playing center, he adds a different element. He adds a different aura. He adds a different style. He adds a different level of like, okay, there's somebody there that could work. These guys play with each other all the time. These guys play against each other all the time. Bilal Kaba has played with you, and he has won a trophy, and he's been able to play a position where you just kind of stuck him there and said, "Hey, man, this is what you got. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it," and he did it at a high level and when it mattered, right? So I know people talk to tell me, "Oh man, you're talking too much about Bilal Kaba and what he means, and maybe it's too much of of credit." But you have to understand something. My perception of Bilal Kaba is very different of everyone else's. They see Bilal Kaba in London playing with Haydari and trying to win Mamt and all these other tournaments. I see Bilal Kaba as the guy who Turab put front right to play against us in a deathly final where he didn't give. Okay. So when it mattered, he stepped up. So that's my take on Stanmore. I ranked them as 6 because I think there's a level of redemption for them that they need to come back from after losing that play-in against Orlando B. I don't think they're going to settle for less this time. And I think Bilal Kaba is a difference maker. So yeah, they could be easily 2, they could easily be 8, but I think they ran right in the middle at number 6, and I think it's going to take them a while to get their bearings. But if they catch it, they could be something dangerous.
Yeah, for sure. Look, after my battle with them, our battle with them in Alwilaya, that 3-game war that I still watch because that was just incredible. I think it was
Yeah.
1-all for 12 minutes in the third game.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I
Yeah.
realized they're real. I think they beat Jaffrey's, right?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the finals. My take on Stanmore. Look, I think Bilal Kaba is a great addition. I
Mm-hmm.
have played with him. I think he's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
If he's playing in center, though, it's a different role.
Yes.
I don't know what their formation is.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
But whatever, whoever plays center, be it Bilal, be it Abbasali, I'll be honest with you, I watched Abbasali play in New York. I was pretty impressed.
Oh yeah, man.
He
Killer.
played well,
Killer.
right?
Killer. Killer.
Um, so
Lefty, smooth
however they
swing.
set it up, we'll
Yeah.
leave it up to them to decide. Because I don't like people telling me how to set up. I ain't gonna tell them how to set up.
Yeah. Agreed.
But here's the thing. If they make it work and they find a way, they're a big problem. Big, big problem. What I believe Murtaza Blue had on Stanmore is a very similar effect I have on United Stars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the older brother.
Right. Right.
And that's the role I've played on the team all these years up until, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that when you have that calming figure, okay, don't worry, I'll take the responsibility. If we
Yeah.
lose, it's on me. It's
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah.
Right. I think that was what they were missing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bilal and Abbasali and Kumi and Amir Ali all together
Mm-hmm.
will be able to fill that role.
Yes.
I still consider them a very good team. Look, bro, I have lost that kind of game that they lost to Orlando Union B.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to wake up in the morning and play a 1-game qualifier against MZ and Mize, oof,
Yeah.
brother,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
not
Yeah.
happy about that one, right?
Yeah.
So I've been there, right? Jaxie did it to us,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And we talk about it 10 years later, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It can happen to anyone. So I'm not discounting them at all because of that. They're still champs. They won Al
Yeah.
Wilai, right? So with that championship mentality, they could seed number 1 very well and win the whole thing,
Easily. Easily.
or
Easily.
they could lose. But yeah, I think Bilal is going to be a great addition. Now, what is to be determined is he a great addition and makes them better than what What's Blue was,
Yeah. Yeah.
or is he a great addition and keeps them at the same level?
Right. Right.
That's what we're gonna come to see. I think they will be good. I think
Yeah.
they'll be good.
I agree. I look. Abbas Ali played amazing in New York.
Yeah.
But like you said, there was a level of like when you look at them, that Mutz Blue figure was missing. And hey, listen, man, I got a lot of guys. Like I said, I'm not. Let's not talk about Muts Blue just on Stanmore. Muts Blue in Dubai upset Jaffrey's.
No, no,
So
Musblue is he's a calming voice, right?
Muts Blue
He doesn't care about what you have to say.
doesn't care,
He
bro.
doesn't even care about the game as much, right? So
No, no.
for him, it's like, I got you, right? Don't
Yep,
worry.
yep.
And I think Abbasali is super talented,
Yeah, yeah,
right? But I think he just needs a calming figure next to him
yeah,
or beside him or however they position it.
yeah.
But they're still Amirli is still Amirli, Kumi is still Kumi.
100%.
They do great. And I just want to shout them out. I'm very thankful that they're coming. It's
Yes.
what amplified the tournament. I
Yeah,
appreciate them, and inshallah, we're able to host them well.
definitely. It's gonna be a lot of fun watching them. Like we talked about a lot of the things I've manifested. This was one of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
happened. Number five, New York. Respect on New York at number five because they have made back to back to back semifinals. They made a semifinal in Minnesota. They made the semifinals in New York. They made the semifinals in Alwada, right? Yeah, not all of them went as planned, but at the same time, I think they lost the stars in two of them. But at the same time, they have been able to make it there. The promised land, it's not too far away. They are younger. They have less pieces. No Sumar, no Imran Murji, right? But they do have some young guys that are coming up and trying to make a name for themselves. Do I think that, yeah, it's time now to crack the code for them to make it further? Do I think it's time now for Sahil to take that next step? Yes, 100%. It is. It is time. The same way I talk about Mohaimin, the same way I talk about every other center, Matham, there are times where you got to take that next step. This is it, right? For Sahil. I think now is a time where he's getting that chance, the ability. You sometimes you take it for granted when a team is built around you, right? And so I feel like now is the time for Sahil to move on and try to take that next step. You got the same old reliable in Bode, right? You got the younger guys that are coming in. You got the Jaxies, the Shanes, all those guys. I think at number five, they're perfectly placed because they're easily a team that could be in the top four. They're easily a team that could be out of the top four. Um, but I also think that it's time for them to take that next step. What's your take on New York Union? You've played them a few times now recently. You think they're going to do well?
So I really like their game style. I've always liked New York's game style. I think Sahil's a great center.
Mm-hmm.
Bode is reliable. Um, I think Jaxie's very good as well.
Yeah.
Right? I will always say Jaxie's very good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You kind of have to now. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think that you're right. They have some pretty big shoes to fill, man. Like you took them to 5 finals.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see a final soon.
Yeah. Same. I think they can
I
do
want
it.
to see a final soon. Can they do it? Yes, of course. Right. A final soon. They don't have to win right away, but a final soon. Crack that barrier, right? And
Yeah.
then once you do that, I think Sahil will bloom, right? And he has his brother there to back him up.
Agreed.
I think Sahil has that game. I like his game style. It's more traditional, and I
It
love that.
is. It is more traditional. Yeah.
Good flight on him, right? I know him and Jabber have had some wars already, right? I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. Yeah.
Jabber got him. No, he got Jabber in the New York round robin game. He took a few
Mm,
off Jabber.
mm,
And then Jabber in the semifinals in Toronto over here, he was like, all right, let's go. Right. So
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
building that, that repertoire. He's
Mm,
building that already. He's good, man. He's very good. So I think they will do well. I would love to see a New York Union United Stars B quarterfinals once again.
yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
But yeah, I think they'll do well. But I do agree with you. I do believe they have to take a leap. And they still have a little bit of time, but I'd like to see that.
I agree. Number four, we'll get to the top four now, and look, they're defending champions, and a lot of credit to them with winning Al Wahda, and that's Toronto Warriors. Toronto Warriors, they come in as champs. Right now, it's almost like we talk about this all the time. When you surprise somebody, the next time you get on the court, it's no longer a surprise. You go from hunting to being hunted. You go from having no expectations to having a lot of expectations. And there's almost a target on your back now because they understand what to expect from Toronto Warriors.
Yeah.
They are getting used to our style. And I think they've come accustomed to it. They have to ride that momentum and that confidence, I'm sure, into this tournament. But at the same time, hey, man, everyone's going to bring their A game now against them.
Yeah.
And I think, based off of New York, they made it into the quarterfinals. This tournament, obviously, they won. This is a grand tournament in terms of the team, the pool of players, the pool of talent. that's going to be here. I have them at 4 because I think they'll be in the semis. I think they can do the same thing they did last time, shock the world and maybe, win this thing. But I want to say that, hey, listen, show it to me again. Show it to me now where the expectations are bigger, right? Because that's when everyone it changes your mindset. Your mindset is no longer an underdog mindset, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of teams that are going to want revenge. And
Yeah.
revenge is fun in this game, right? Because you get to now play 2.0. They want revenge. We want revenge. You want revenge. And now you're going up against top guys that want revenge. And so it's a lot of fun. But it also is you have to work harder. So that's why I have Warriors at number 4. Like I said, easily could win this thing. But I think they're a lock to make it into the semis.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic. Look, I can't say anything about them that's negative. They just beat us, right?
Yeah, true.
They're a fast-paced team. They're a problem. They know the game. Net usage is very strong. Every single player can play every single position.
Yeah.
Suhail's third ball is nothing to play with.
No, not at all. Nothing.
Nothing at all. In fact, probably one of the hardest balls I have faced,
Mm-hmm.
right, in my
Mm-hmm.
time. But you're right, the expectation has changed. They're no longer no underdog. They're gonna be coming in with an expectation to perform well, and they're gonna be coming in with a target for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if they won the tournament, I wouldn't be surprised, right?
Same.
They're
I would
they're
not be
that they're
shocked. I
they're
would not
that
be
good,
shocked.
right?
I would not be
So
shocked.
we'll have to see on the day of. But yeah, I mean, I've been in their shoes, and this is the hardest time to win
Yes.
because it's like usually, you got a couple of targets. Now
Yeah.
everyone wants you, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough, but if there's a team that can prevail through that. They have a damn good squad.
Agreed.
And a lot of
100%
a lot
agreed.
of heart. A lot of
A
heart.
lot
So
of heart. A lot of heart. Number 3, Jaffrey's 2.0. And I have Jaffrey's 2.0 here because, again, they just lost in the semifinals. They did lose in the quarterfinals in New York. Um, Nick is back from what I'm hearing. So that's a good sign. They got good young pieces around him. I think to me, Sakib is probably the biggest game changer for them, right? Always, right? He's always only excelling, getting better and better. They got young guys, Abbas Rai and Mason and all of them. But I think it's time for Kizzer to shine. I think it's time for now Kizzer to play that role where he's shining and he's also playing in a home court advantage. And, there's going to be Jaffrey's guys there riling him on and supporters. And this is his home court. So he's going to put on a show. We all know it. Kizzer never disappoints, gives it his all. But at the same time, I think Jaffrey's are on the outside looking in the finals, but easily with the right matchup, they could win the whole thing again, like we always say. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun watching them, and I think it's going to be a very good whoever they play in the semis. It's going to be a battle, and I think whoever the finals is going to be, it's going to be a battle. But I think they can easily make it there. But I have them outside the top 2.
so I think with Jaffrey's 2.0, they've gone through a transformation, right? Because they had the OGs playing for so many years, and now
Yes.
they're kind of on their own.
Yes.
Maybe an OG or two can keep them level-headed, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of talent, like Kizzer is phenomenal. He's fantastic, right? So, I mean, if they won the whole thing, I wouldn't be surprised either, right?
Yeah.
And he can kind of give it to you from the back line. He can come in the front line, do his thing there. He
Yep.
has great support, and I'll tell you, I think Mason's a backbone for him, and
100%.
he has that reliance on Mason, and Mason comes through for him, and then you have Nick and Rye and whoever else is on their team. I don't want to mention their roster, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I haven't posted everyone else's.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they're like, look, when we played them in the court, like I said, that was the team I was really thinking about because
Yeah.
I thought or I felt that would have been our hardest matchup,
Right.
right? Um, and Jaffrey Stars game is just there's nothing like it,
Nothing.
right? You've got Jaffreys and Stars playing in a big tournament in a big event.
It's
It's
the
great.
best, bro. It's the best.
It's a very fun game. I know we've had our little things on the court, but it's all
Mm.
love, it's all respect.
Yeah.
I love Kizzer and them, and I think he's gonna do fantastic, bro. And I watched his interview, and I really liked the way he spoke, man, and
Yeah.
and the very
Mhm.
eloquent, and yeah, real recognize real, right? Because he had mentioned something about Irfan, and that's always something I step by.
Yeah.
We've won so many tournaments, living and dying by Earth, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Yep.
I think he's gonna do well, and I think when it's all said and done, he goes down as also one of the greatest players to play the game. So
100%. 100%. And that's why, like, it's fun to see Kizzer back in the fold and seeing him play because at some point you're gonna sit there and be like, damn, I missed it. I
Yeah.
wish I'm glad I watched it. And number two, I think they should be happy about this because they seem to be upset about every time I rank them. So they should be happy this time. Minnesota A, respect on their name, back-to-back finals when Imran Walji is there. Um, look, I said it last time. They need to take that step. I said it last time that they're almost there. They're knocking on the door, right? Um, Sometimes, man, if nobody's answering the door, you just got to push that door down, and they got to find a way to do it. Now, does that mean something new, something fresh? The V, some movement in that front line. From what I'm hearing, there's some rumors of some movement in that front line. I don't know, but what it got to be is, listen, the expectation is there now. Your top two, make it to the finals, try to win this one. You have the capabilities, dude. We saw a Minnesota team that didn't have Nickna, didn't have Imran in Alwada, and almost take out 2.0. Like crazy comeback. We all know how good Matham is. We all know how good that entire team is. And again, same with Van City and same with guys like New York. And there was no luxury for them. They worked from within and they made it happen. So I think they're in the finals, in my opinion. I think they're number two. And I think that they're gonna have to take that step now and at least be ready for Vancouver.
Wow. Minnesota. So obviously I got big ties to Minnesota.
Yeah, yeah. So do I. Yeah.
So do you. Um, Here's the thing. I was in Minnesota about a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting down and we were just talking about their journey, right? So
Yeah.
obviously, Imran Walji is my guy.
Yeah.
I've been playing against him. We've won together, right? He's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Matham is like a little brother. Monty, Nick, all these guys, right? Batush,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sipton is my brother-in-law.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was able to be real with them. And I said to them, I was like, look, you have two options. You either become that team that gets to the finals and loses and be the New York Union, right? Which you got a lot of slack for, right?
Yep. Yep.
Because had you won the last tournament, two tournaments, I think your whole narrative about Salman Kermally changes, about
Yep.
New York changes.
Yep.
But
Yep.
unfortunately, it didn't. And
Yep.
the last time we played, literally, it was a coin toss.
Yep.
If I'm gonna say it was a coin toss against Warriors, it was a coin toss against you.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
to be fair, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Having said that, I believe Minnesota has to now win.
Agreed.
I think if you don't win, it's a bust. Very much like United Stars, very much like Orlando, very much like Jaffrey's. I think they're now in that situation where it's win or bust. They're parallel for me personally. When I think about them, okay, I was Toronto Union, made my way,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
finals. But if I got to a few finals and I never won, this door would have closed, right?
Yep.
So they got to win, but they are so capable.
Oh
They're
man, they're right there.
and they're dangerous. They're steady. They have the camaraderie. They got Imran Walji. They got Matham. They got everything. All they got to do is believe. They can't walk into a finals thinking, okay, job is done.
Here we go again. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Job's not done, and you got to wait until the end, right? I believe that this is my take. They were making a comeback in that first game in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando got into their head,
Mm-hmm.
and they let that affect them throughout the next game.
Yeah.
And I think that's the step because that's fair. What Orlando did is cool,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Gamemanship.
Yeah.
Jaffrey's do it, we do it.
Yeah.
But as a younger team, you have to block out that noise,
Yeah.
and you got to be able to get on your wagon and keep doing what you're doing, right? So, they should be able. I think they're gonna go far. Like I said, in the top 5, 6, anyone can get anywhere, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
They could win.
Yeah.
I want to see them win. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they got to do it now. If not today, tomorrow, but they got to do it.
I don't want them to be another New York Union. I don't want them to get that slack that I got, right? Like, hey man, like you can't just get to dub. You're another Mello, you're another Barkley. I don't want them to feel that way. But I do want them to understand that time where they were nurtured into this game where like, oh, it's okay, oh, you're Totos, or oh, you didn't you're still building. Nah, the building is done, bro. The building is done.
And what and Sal, what they've built is incredible in a small town.
Unbelievable.
Right? And they got some top tier talent. But look, I know they're about their business, right? And I know they're gonna do it. Like I said, if not today, tomorrow. Like I know they're gonna do it. I'm hoping
It's
they do
bound
it.
to happen. They're just too good.
The thing is, they have to do it.
Yeah. And look, man, look, I'm not trying to put pressure on them. What I'm trying to say is that they're capable. They don't believe they're capable. They need to start believing that.
Yeah, they got to know when they walk in the finals, the team that they're playing against respects them.
Respects them.
It's like what?
We're nervous
Because
playing you too, bro. Like
100%, 100%,
you know, and
100%.
I think at some point when they sit there and they go, man, like, you know, we made it. Look, make it to the finals was a dub when you were building. Now that you've built, it's about time you win that final. And when you, like I said, man, you said it best. You're not you're not the team fighting it to come in. You're the team that should be in.
Yeah.
Now that you're making it in every time, you have the same expectation as Orlando, as Stars, as Toronto Jaffreys, as you know what I'm saying, as New York Union did when we were doing it. You have the same expectation, bro. When you make it in, you gotta give it your
But
100.
with Imran Walji and Matham there and Monty doing his thing, and then the front line, right? Nick Nam, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. I believe they're gonna do it. They gotta believe, like you said, and they will do it. And once they do it, I think it's one of the greatest stories because they're from a small town.
100%. Number one, what's left? United Stars A, home court, home tournament. And the expectation, I think you understand that right now at this age, at this point, to be in the final, to be probably the favorite in this tournament, right? The thought process is that you guys have been to multiple finals. You guys have been at the end now every single time. The talent is undeniable. You know, it's all there, right? I think it's time. I think it's not time, but I think it's also like, hey, man, you're the new Jaffreys. You're the that expectation is you'll be in the finals. You don't know who you're going to play, but you're going to be in that finals, and the thought process is that you're going to have a shot to win every single time. What's your take on that? And do you have any pressure to win this one?
So on the first point, yeah, I mean, I think I always expect us to be in the finals. And if we don't, we don't, but I always expect it. Um, yeah, it's home court for us and Jaffrey's, right? So either one. But yeah, I mean, of course there's expectations. I mean, so no one can put higher expectations on our team than I put on myself and the team. Okay.
Yeah.
And also our guys. Like I play with killers.
Yeah.
Okay. So they are all expecting to do what we've done many times, right? But who knows? It's you're playing a tournament where every team is good. So it could be a bad Sunday and you run into the wrong guy and he got you, just the way Suhal has gotten us or whoever's got us, right? But yeah, no, expectations are always there. Pressure? No, I don't have no pressure, man. Pressure is on these guys. Honestly, for me, I look at pressure very differently. Had I never won, yeah, I would be pressured. Or I'm getting at the tail end. I need to get one, make it worth it. Pressure's not on us. Pressure's on, Minnesota. Pressure's on New York. Pressure's on the teams that haven't won.
Yeah.
Damn good teams that haven't won. That's where the pressure is, right? Because you got to win.
Yeah.
For us, it's like, no, there's no pressure on us or Jaffrey's or even if Orlando Union was full.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any pressure because we've been there, done that, right? Now, it becomes like I was telling someone a while ago, it becomes a trophy count, bragging rights, for lack of better word, right? But like I said at the beginning, you can't rewrite history. So like, what are you gonna say? Oh, United Stars lost. You know what my answer is gonna be? So what?
Yeah.
Right? Like we've won. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, look, United Stars or Jaffrey's or Orlando, these are teams that they're always expected to do something.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, I expect to win. And yes, I expect to be in the finals. And yes. But hey, it may not happen. And it's no problem.
True.
Yeah.
True. It is gonna be nice though to see Conan there again, and all that vibe, that United Stars old school vibe. I know Oscar Uncle is one of the guys handling the tournament. It's just gonna be fun to see United Stars hosting a tournament and seeing all those figures there, right? Because there's just a lot of aura to that. And yeah, look, you're right, man. Expectation, pressure is pressure. But it's going to be, no matter what happens, you're going to get the best of the best out of Stars, the best out of 2.0, the best out of Minnesota. You're going to get it this tournament, right? Because there's no sleeping on anybody. Quickly, we have a couple of minutes. I need your predictions on some awards. The MVP, the best netty, best serviceman. For me, I'll start. I think MVP this time, okay, is going to be Matham Mehdi. I think Matham takes that leap. I think they end up in a final. I don't know if they win or not, but I think he's going to be able to showcase that, man, it's time for him to grab one of those. I think he deserves it.
For me, MVP will be, let's pick someone different, man. Put some pressure on somebody. Who hasn't got one? Let me think. I'm gonna say MVP is going to be Bilal Kaba.
No, I like that. That was my second choice.
All
I
right,
like that.
cool.
I like that. I like
All
that
right.
a lot. For best netty, I think I think there's so many names, right? Like you can go on and on and on. From what I'm hearing, from the rumor mill, I would love for it to be Kone Taki. Like I think if he has a chance to play, I don't know if he will, but I think that's, man, nostalgia to 1,000.
You know, playing playing with Conan again is a very emotional thing because we've been through like the run together.
Yeah, yeah,
Started Toronto Union together.
yeah.
That's my brother, right? 7 year layoff. He's definitely playing. He
Mm-hmm.
came to New York to check it out. Wanted to make sure he still feels it.
Mm-hmm.
He's been practicing. He's definitely playing.
I agree. I'm sure it's a lot of emotion playing with him.
Yeah, yeah. So if
Um,
he if he if he if he if he plays and he's going to the end of that tournament, I'm just letting you know I'm giving him best Eddie. So it don't matter. But yeah, no, I'd love to see that.
best serviceman. Uh, I'm gonna give that to Mustafa Shuji. I think Mustafa Shuji, who has shared this award now a few times, um, has never been able to get it himself. What he went through in New York, and recently he's had some health scares. He's come back to practice in the last 2 weeks, probably serving the best he's ever served. But for him to be doing it for this long, for this amount of time, a lot, and with all the medical issues that he's faced, a lot of credit to him.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, bro. We hope that Mustafa Shirji gets it.
I think Musti gets it.
Manifest it.
Manifested.
All right.
Predictions, top four.
Oh,
I'll give you mine, and then you can give me yours. I think top four will be Stanmore, 2.0, Minnesota A, United Stars A.
oof. Okay. I got Stars 2.0, Minnesota A, and Warriors.
Yeah, fair. That's how I have them ranked, but I just, again, styles make fights. I think Stanmore has an ability to make it.
They could very well. It's not a knock on them, but I can't. That's what I think.
I think I'm gonna say it. The finals will be. Oh, it's tough because I have two finals in my mind that I think it's gonna be. What I want it to be and what I think it's gonna be is two different things.
Hey,
What I want it to be is Stanmore A versus United Stars.
okay.
What I think it's gonna be is Minnesota A versus United Stars.
Yeah, so I think I don't know, bro. I'm not predicting no finals. That's bad.
I knew you were gonna cop out like
That's not
that.
doing that. But I think at the end of it, um, yeah, we'll see. I don't know, but we're definitely trying to win this thing, but we'll see.
Um, I think the shocker would be that 2.0 takes all of it. Like without, like, it could just easily happen. Like just
Oh, I don't listen. That's the thing. I don't think that's a shocker. I
no,
think,
no, no. I'm just saying, like, I know I didn't name them in the
yeah,
finals. I said I want to see Stanmore versus you. I feel like it's gonna be Minnesota A versus you. I'm going based off statistics here. And I've seen you and Jaffrey's play 1,000 times, but I've never seen this version of Stanmore and you in play. So this is not a shot at 2.0, but I can easily see 2.0 like just pushing everyone aside and being like, it's ours.
100%.
And
That's why,
Warriors too. And Warriors
yeah,
too.
I don't want to make any unforced errors here, you know?
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
usually
Fair enough.
when I take
Fair
a
enough.
point, what did they say? It's an unforced error.
And for
So
Sarah, yes. Yes.
same thing over here. I don't want to make no unforced error here. So
I,
no,
I, I look, not a shot at Warriors, not a shot at 2.0. That's just what I would like to see. But any one of those two can easily make it
Hey,
in and
bro, this
just
is
win.
this is your podcast. You're free to say what you want. I am pleading the fifth on this one.
Smart,
The
smart.
final will be whoever deserves to be, and if anyone from that top 4 or 5 wins, I'm not surprised. How
Yeah,
about that?
fair enough. Fair enough. I'm gonna ask you for one last thing.
Yeah,
Sleeper. Give me a sleeper team. A
a
team
sleep.
that's a dark horse. A team that could surprise everybody.
I mean, you got a few, man.
So
Like,
give me one. I just want one.
I'm gonna go looking at the roster. Sleepers OG.
Oh, I really like that one. Um, I'm gonna say United Stars B.
They're not a sleeper though.
They are. They're not expected to make the semis, but they easily can. I think they might. I think there's a chance they play the right guy and they win this time. Like,
Sure.
yeah, okay, granted, they make the quarters, but
I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in a home tournament, like, yo, if they catch, I don't know, a New York Union in a quarterfinal, like they want that revenge on them, right? Like if
Oh
they
yeah,
catch
yeah. No,
us,
Muhammad was telling me a couple of days ago that he wants to play them again. Not disrespectfully, but he wants to.
yeah, I'm sure. If they
Right?
catch us in a quarterfinal, they can easily beat us. Like, dude, they can like,
They could get to the semis for sure. And honestly, that would be more proud for me than winning because like we created that,
that's
right?
a
So seeing it like grow is
yeah.
awesome, right? And if they play us, we'll give it to them.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. Look, I appreciate this. It's been a lot of fun. It always is. Time just flies and we don't even know it. But thank you,
Just one
man.
thing, Sal.
Yeah.
Whoever sees this. So, firstly, I want to thank everyone for making this possible, the support. The live stream will be on Muna Mirali's channel.
Mhm.
So he's gonna set it up. And one thing I want to tell everybody participating and everybody who's going to be a part of this tournament, just expect a very good time. We want to remember we're playing in a mosque. We want to
Yes.
keep our respect. We want to make sure everybody stays level-headed. Competition can make us a bit crazy. I know. I'm
Mhm.
a bit, but I've been already told that I'm a host, so I gotta be on the best behavior, and I will be.
Yeah.
But having said that, again, I'm very appreciative of what you've done to hype this up. My
Thank you.
brother's done an amazing job with the social
He
media.
has. He has. He has.
Everyone's been very supportive, so I'm super hyped. And yeah, no, I can't wait, man. Can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah, no, it'll be nice. The one thing that I almost forgot what it felt like. It's not so much playing center in a tournament that felt great to do again. It's not so much being a central piece of a team that felt good again, but to go up against the likes of you center to center, the likes of Kizer center to center, the likes of that feeling, man, you don't get it. And sometimes when you lose it, like you don't have it, you feel it again. You're like, damn, bro, like I want that back.
Bro, you know the thing is, and we'll end this then. You're one of the best to do it, right? So seeing you do it was no shocker, right? I just think sometimes you forget, right? So,
Definitely.
I think everybody's good, man. Like there's a lot of great players out there, right? But there's some special ones. And you were in that category. You took a lot of teams to a lot of ends. So, put some respect on your name and do your
Yeah,
thing,
it'll
right?
be a lot of fun. Yeah,
And there's a
thank
lot
you.
of good players nowadays, and I think the game's gonna be great.
It's just like Turab, Salman. Just we don't have it no more in the last 3 4 years, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
now to get it again it's a lot of fun, man. It's just thank you for that and thank you for
yeah. I'll still
this
kick your
opportunity.
butt, but you're
Yeah,
still
for
a
sure. And that's fine. That's fine.
fan.
Thank you again, man. Thank you for allowing me to do this. I appreciate your
Appreciate you.
time. And I'll see you guys all in a week.
You got it, my brother. Appreciate
Right.
you.
Good night, everybody. I love you all.